If you are anything like me and you're just wondering, what the heck did I do to make everybody so mad? Yeah, you got a home here. Welcome to the Go Show, celebrating all things outdoors in this beautiful outdoor playground of a state and world that we live in, nation, and we can go in order. Sure, whatever. Maybe I need some coffee a little early in the program for that, but let's go. Hmm, I'm going to stick with that. Holy cow, got apparently I have ruffled some feathers. Apparently, there is a group of folks here in Arizona in the world of conservation that aren't too pleased with your humble host of 11 years, Mike Russell. That's me. And I don't know why. I'm gonna have to figure that out after the show. Maybe I'll report back with you tomorrow. But it is it's a little absurd to me because if I have what's up, Lynn, and if I have been clear on one thing when it comes to the ability for commissioners' tags to be auctioned, if I have been very clear in one thing, it is that banning the ability to auction commission tags is dumb. It's not a smart idea. And apologies to my friends on the commission, but it is just not a good idea unless there is a better model already present, already proven. Dance with the one that brought you. That's what I'm trying to say. I have said it over and over. I said directly to the commissioner. I've made probably some offhanded jokes in meetings with the commissioner about banning commission tags. I've been very clear. I do not think it was a good idea. I think it was a terrible idea unless something was already in place. So it was a ready, fire, aim approach, which I live half of my life by. So at least I will listen to the other side. I will be respectful to the other side, and I will hear the case for and against, because that's who I am. As opposed as having someone on that's against banning auction tags. Why? I'm against the host of this show is adamantly against banning the auction tags again, unless a better system is in place. Holy mackerel. But apparently it got out that I'm not, that I'm for banning auction tags, or I don't know. I'm going to have to figure it out. But apparently I've started a kerfuffle. So I'll figure that all out. It just is what it is. Speaking of kerfuffles, it is the ugliest word we have on the show. It is the P word. The P word is poaching. And we have an interesting case that I want to talk about because it's absurd. So the record buck has been taken by Christopher Alexander. You know exactly where I'm going with this. This is a Ohio state record. This buck is absolutely absurd. I mean, just the tines on this sucker are about as big as any beam you've ever seen on an elk. It looks like many elk tines. It's so huge. The thing's massive. I don't know how its neck could hold this. I don't know how the kid is holding it up. Come to find out that he lied about where he took this. He took it out of state lines 10 miles away and then staged the killing with the help of his friend Corey and his brother. And they all wrote a letter corroborating the story. That was it. It is what it is. So here's the deal. He killed an 18-point buck. Do we need to say more? 18-point buck. Now, here in Arizona, I believe they call that a 9-point. In the Midwest, they count all of the points, not just on one side. An 18-point buck. I don't even know what this thing measured to, but apparently this stupid mangy poacher was a little excited for the fame, a little excited. Actually, the Attorney General of OH, yep, any Ohio fans out there will get that, said that he was blinded by greed and focused on gracing the cover of Field and Stream instead of state hunting regulations. And haven't we seen it before, for the love of grief? Haven't we seen this before? I think the latest example was last year. Influencers that had their TV show went out, and I think it was like 3 different cases or 3 different charges of poaching animals just for the TV show, just for the glory, the fame, whatever, just looking like they're just that good at hunting. They had to resort to poaching. And this is, again, Lynn just said, put him in jail. I agree with this. I mean, he got all the fame. He got all the notoriety. He got everything that you would want. He got all the pictures and all the Iowa state record and got mounting the thing on the wall. Not anymore. Yeah. $20,000 is the fine. That's right. That's right. In turn, they allegedly. Oh no, I'm sorry. I apologize. I got that wrong. They profited from the poaching by selling the antlers. This dude didn't even mount it. Sold it $20,000. He sold it for $20,000. Now he has been charged. He is going to have his day in court and then see what the state does with the guy. But made 20 G's. Hopefully they're getting the 20 G's back. But we'll follow this and find out what's going on here, because this is pretty bad. This was just happening last November. Here's the gig though. The guy's 28 years old. Your brain's fully functioned at this point. This is just a dumb redneck move, is all this is. Just a dumb redneck move. There's really no two ways about that. It is. So anyway, yeah, greed and fame. I'm telling you, man, it's funny. Lynn said that the greed and fame, it happens in two industries that you see that in. It happens in my industry and media, where people just can't let go. They just cannot let go at all. Or they have to, everything has to be perfect all the time. That's a lot of stress. My girlfriend actually asked me if I'm going on with this. See this big old thing right here on my face? Yeah. I'm 49 years old and I got a zit. What in the love of, wow. Didn't even know that was possible. Apparently it is. So I blame stress. No, I just got a zit. So I'm like, yeah, why not? It is what it is. I'm going on the show. Here we go. Let's go do a show. Nothing has to be perfect. And I see people in my industry that they go to, maybe they're asked to leave, their show's canceled, they're fired, whatever it is, and then they're just they're dumbfounded by it. They don't know what to do. They can't let go of the fame. They can't let go of the notoriety. They can't let go of the attention. And then they do really stupid things, like this guy, and he was just chasing that 15 minutes. So it's sad. Yeah. This ain't a political show. That's right. Don't worry about your political show, man. It's okay. You can say politics in here, Lynn. It's all good. Stick in the comments, man. You're good. I get to choose if it becomes political. Yeah. So you can goad me all you want, but I might not choose to do so. Here's this great story. If you want to take on an outdoorsman, if you want to take out a dedicated outdoorsman, if you want to take them on, here's my advice to you. Just don't. You're going to get beat. And I'm not talking about physically beat down, but look, we go out in the woods and survive, essentially. We're not afraid of you. We're not afraid of HOAs. We're not afraid of city ordinances. We're not afraid. We're law-abiding citizens, keep in mind. But don't mess with us, because we'll mess back. Example for me, before we get to this example, which is fantastic. I'm so excited for you guys to see this. I received an HOA. Now, I believe if y'all see the movie The Devil's Advocate, fantastic. Keanu Reeves and Al Pacino, fantastic. Al Pacino is basically Satan. He's got a law firm, this high-priced law firm, right? I think that movie got it wrong. It should have been an HOA, because that's where I believe that Satan is firmly planted, and their job is just to jack with people and the dream of home ownership, turning it into a nightmare. That's what he said. Got a letter from my HOA saying you need to paint the exterior of your house. I'm like, that is expensive. What do you mean I need to paint? I walk out to the front. I'm like, things looking good out here. Everything's looking nice. I don't know. It's in your CCRs, and it's every 10 years the exterior of the house needs to be painted. Okay. I'll paint the exterior of the house. If you want me to paint the exterior of the house, HOA. I got you. You know something? Because I'm all about the aesthetics of the neighborhood, and I know that you're just doing your job as an HOA to protect the values of our home. Sure. And profit wildly. But anyway, so I went out, I got some exterior paint, and I just painted the two pop-outs in front of the house. That's all I did. I painted the exterior of the house. It did not say in its entirety. Literally said the exterior paint must be refreshed what I did X amount of years. That's it. Sometimes I think I'd make a good argument in front of the Supreme Court. I'm not an attorney. I just play one here online, and I think I could do well, because if I can find a loophole, damn it, I will find a loophole. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah. Paint the exterior of your house. Yes, sir. One little swatch right, and done. Painted the exterior of my house. Tell me I'm wrong. Take me to court, peeps. Change your CCRs if that's the way you want to do it. If you want to take on an outdoorsman, take on an outdoorsman. Y'all got to see this. So this cat in California was told by the city, not even the HOA. So it's even worse. Now we got with government. So y'all know what happens when government tries to jack with you. Like Tequila Jim will say, we're with the government. We're here to help. It's the scariest words in the English language, right? Thank you, Ronald Reagan. I'm with the government. I'm here to help. So this guy was told, because he parked his boat on his side yard. In a lot of California towns, you don't have HOAs. You have city ordinances and things like that, and Mallaroo, some weird stuff in Southern California. I don't even know what it is. Don't even know how to spell that, so I can't look it up. So they have city ordinances that you have to have a gate covering anything you park on your side yard. Like if you have a car that you park out there, or maybe a classic car that you have covered up, it has to have a gate in front of it. So this man had a boat, very beautiful boat. It's an offshore boat, gorgeous. Mwah. Love this boat, fantastic. He loves the boat. You know he loves the boat. It's beautiful. Let me tell you how much he loves the boat. And I also want to tell you how much, as an outdoorsman, he loves to be a law-abiding citizen, as most of us are. You see, what he did is he built a gate, and then he had the gate painted. Would you like to see how he had it painted? Here you are. Beautiful gate. We get a little funky with the music too. Here we go. You see what he's doing now? Literally had his neighbor, who is an artist, come paint the picture of the boat as if it is parked. Watch, he does. I mean, he's lining up the chimney. He's lining up the driveway. The bush in the back is painted on there as if the gate isn't even there. Watch when they pull away from this. It is one of the most impressive things you're going to see. I mean, look at this. How realistic this is. This is absurd. Let's fast forward a little bit here. Let's get it there. Yeah, listen when they pull away from this. Watch this. This is great. What? Yes. Look at that. Looks like he's just said, there's my boat. Nope, I got a gate, though. You told me to get a gate. You told me to get a gate, and I got a gate. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Jim said he'd have an Abrams tank painted on it. Heck yeah. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Oh, my gosh. But that's beautiful. That is sticking it to the man. I love that. And the funny thing is, actually, I think the cool part about this is, and y'all know I rarely give government any kind of credit about anything. The city said, well played. Well played. Great job. Yeah, you guys, you did a fantastic job. We told him to build a gate because he needed to abide by the city ordinances, and he did. We didn't tell him he had to paint the gate in any certain color, and he didn't. He just did what he did. I love that, and that's just why you got it. You got to just stick it to the man every now and again, and don't take on an outdoorsman, because we'll figure out a way. We will figure out a way to win this battle. I can only imagine the people out on the lakes at Game and Fish, the game wardens that are out there with everybody, all these drunk people. Could you imagine that? I mean, you seriously think about how much of a mess that's got to be. That's got to be a huge mess. You just deal with these people. Oh no, what happened was my brother-in-law Tim. He told me that this was the law on this. Yeah, whatever. Yeah. There was a time, and if somebody would like to pick up the name I'm dropping here, there's a time where I've had, I think 3 times I've had the opportunity to have the Uncle Teddy himself, not Teddy Roosevelt, like on my shirt, Ted Nugent, Uncle Nuge, on the show with me. It was wild. It's fantastic. As a matter of fact, I think some of my best pieces of audio came from me just talking to Ted Nugent before we went on air. And it was just recording because we'd pre-record the interviews. So he actually told me, terrible Ted, he told me, and by the way, when he was in studio, there was basically a let's pull them out and compare firearms, several. When I ran out of firearms, he pulled knives. Not kidding. And then went on stage that night here at the Celebrity Theater with everything on the same thing. He didn't change the thing. He was armed to the teeth. Yeah. Anyway, he gave me a tip about bird hunting and processing that I have never forgotten. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share that with you after we play this clip here. This clip comes from an outfitter. So for those of you who are new to the biz, the newbies, outfitters are guide services. So it's fully, when you see like fully outfitted hunt, that means that it is guided. They have essentially room and board. They've got the big tents. They've got food for you, and they take you out to wherever the aminals are and show you where to go and where to shoot. Okay. So there's this guide who you have to understand as a guide. If somebody said, "Hey, why don't you come over for elk steaks or why don't you come over for venison steaks?" It ain't a big deal. For non-guides, for normal hunters, if I say come over for venison steaks, I have a line out the door. Same thing with elk steaks, anything, elk burgers, whatever it is. Come over for some bison smash burgers. Boom, line out the door. So, but to an outfitter, it's like, I'm getting tired of it. Getting tired of the same old way of eating stuff, same old way of processing stuff. So this outfitter decided to take the hindquarters of, I'm sorry, it was a shoulder and a leg of a deer. And I'm not kidding when I say this. Hang it and leave it out in the elements. And he said, whatever Mother Nature threw at it for 60 days. For 60 days. The butcher that I go to, if I ever want to eat beef, the butcher that I go to has aged 30 or 60 days. I mean, 30 days. That's it. It's 30-day aged, and it is phenomenal. But that is done with an aging process, most likely in an aging locker or a freezer type of thing, whatever it is. It's done in a different, it's not just left out in the elements, okay? And what you'll see here in a moment is when you age something, you lose part of the meat. So the meat forms this crust around. I know it sounds disgusting. Trust me on this. The crust is trimmed off, and what is left is some of the best meat you're ever going to have in your life. Aged meat is fantastic. And you said, you know, on menus or something like that, aged prime, whatever it is. Here's the deal. 60 days. This guy didn't just cut it and cooked it. This guy cut it and ate it. Check it out. Let's see what you got here. All right. All right. He's cutting it. Look at that thing. Okay, right out of the gates. It just looks like like he went to the morgue. It completely went to the morgue. And then, yeah, it does shrink just a little bit, but because it loses a lot of its the moisture. But what it does, that it kind of crust, that the moisture kind of forms that crust, and then it doesn't shrink, but so much as you're cutting part of it away that has been weathered and aged. Okay, so look at this thing. It literally looks like something out of the morgue. It's disgusting. I look at this, I'm like, I ain't eating it. I guess we just wasted that deer's shoulder because we could have had some good roast meat, could have had some good stew meat, could have had some burger, whatever it was. This part of this deer died in vain. I wouldn't have even, I would have looked at it after 60 days and tossed the thing. Watch this. This gets interesting, guys. Watch this. I'm just going to cut off a little piece of it. Look at that. Mm-hmm. Look at that. Okay, whoa. Ah! Look at that is right. That looks delicious. That looks like bluefin tuna. Holy mackerel. And it's solid. It just looks, that thing looks medium rare. Holy mackerel. Did you know you can order a steak blue in a restaurant? Do you know what that is? Blue. Blue means just seared on both sides, and then I'm good. We'll call it good. The thing is mooing when you cut into it. Holy mackerel. Anyway, this guy's going to take a little bite. Check this out. That looks good, by the way. That's really good. See what he's got. See? Now you see him pull that crust away? Watch.
Incredible.
What? Okay, look at this. See how he's pulling that apart out? No, look, it's done. Y'all, I'd eat that in a minute. I would eat, you wouldn't have to ask me twice. I would eat that in a heartbeat. My mouth is watering right now. Holy mackerel. And now I have eaten raw venison right out of the deer. Intern Nuge took a bite, and I'm gonna see if I can post this. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get kicked off of some sort of platform soon enough if I post the video of him actually biting into the bison heart and chewing and eating. He took a like a warrior. He did it. Yeah, kind of. Yeah, same. Basically, that's the way it is, Jim. So oh my gosh, do you really? The whole blue thing, I don't like. I mean, I do like a rare steak. I just don't like. I don't like the chewiness of the raw. I'm just not a fan of it. But there was no chewy in that. It was like it was almost like jerky. And I've had yellowtail jerky. That was interesting. I was out at La Jolla with the Sea Samurai, and he said, "Here, try this. This is yellowtail jerky, not yellowfin, yellowtail." And he said, "Just nibble on it, man." And it was the tastiest. I mean, just it had so much flavor. That's why he's saying, "Dude, just nibble it." So I'm not trying to save any of it. You just don't want to chew like beef jerky. And it was just fantastic. So not cooked, just freeze. I'm sorry, just dehydrated is all it was. Dehydrated fish. It's fantastic. But then again, we've been eating raw fish for thousands of years. But but venison this way aged would have never thought of it. So let me get to it. So let's get back to Uncle Teddy. Uncle Teddy said Ted Nugent on the show said, because I was talking about field dressing, I was talking about whether when you bird hunt, do you whole breast, or do you breast it out, or do you whole bird? Do you pluck it? And he goes, well, it depends on when it falls. Excuse me? It falls after you shoot it, Ted. No. Ted Nugent suggested on my program that you take the birds whole, don't even touch them. They fall, they die, you put them in a brown bag. And you put them in a room temperature room or a cool room, and you let them sit. How long? How long is this? How long are we going to do this, Ted? He goes, I don't know, whenever, I don't know, like 30 days or so. I'm like, you're not even eviscerating, you're not gutting these things at all. No, just leave them all in their hole. Just in a brown bag. Mm-hmm. I'm like, man, I want to get some calls. I'm going to have to pay somebody's emergency room bill. Fast forward a couple of years, and I'm out hunting with the Priest brothers. And if you're here in Arizona and you want to 100% that day limit out on quail, talk to the Priest brothers. They're like they have dogs out there for show because they just know where to go. I'll never forget being in Dan's truck, and he said, okay, get out here and go to that bush right there, and there's going to be a cubby in there. Like, what? How do you know Garmin? He wasn't looking at anything. He wasn't looking at any electronics. He didn't have a pin on his dashboard. It's an old truck. And I'm like, okay, sure, Schnitzel. My dog straight to that thing. Big old cubby. Anyway, while we were driving out there, he said, hey, heard your show with Ted Nugent. And, my brother and I got tired of how we always cook quail. So I thought I'd give that brown bag thing a try. I'm like, oh, no. Here we go. I'm going to have to, because of Ted Nugent and his story on my show, I'm going to have to pay this guy's bill or get him a nice bottle of scotch or something like that. He said it was the best damn quail he's ever had in his life. I'm like, come on. Can't. There's no way. Sure enough, best quail he's ever had in his life. And that was from somebody who has had a lot of quail. More quail than most of us have ever had steak in our life or chicken. I mean, that guy, he said it was the best there is. So I started to look into it. Actually, I went back to the show because you understand when Ted Nugent is saying this on my show, I'm not hearing what he's saying. I'm thinking about how am I going to get this past the boss? Boss is not going to be happy with this one. And what he said on the show, when I listened to it again, he said there are several tribal nations and, not even here in this nation, but around the world. If they kill any type of a bird, what they do is they nail it to a wall. They nail it to a post or a wall. When the bird falls, like the foot is properly like rotted away and just the weight from it all just dropped it, that's when it's time to process and eat it. I'm not kidding. I looked into it. Sure, Schnitzel. Holy cow. It works. Yeah, I haven't tried it. I really haven't tried it because I do not like having stomach sickness. I just really don't in any way. But I'll tell you this. What it has done is when I do go bird hunting and I get back and I just don't feel like cleaning the birds, They can get in a bag in the fridge for a little bit. It's okay. Next day when I come back, I'm like, really not into it. A few days later, I'm like, and that story just keeps replaying in my head. Like, I'll get to processing the birds later. Oh my goodness sakes. More for the Go Show Cookbook. I would love to work on that. It's in the notes, Grizz, and I appreciate you reminding me of that, because y'all know me, man. After 2 brain surgeries, I'm like, squirrel. I'm like, what was I doing today? Run around the studio, kind of looking at my watch, go 11 o'clock. What am I had something on my calendar for 11 o'clock. Oh, the show. Yeah. Happens all the time. Just happens all the time. And anyway, so that all it has done. I've not tried the aged birds, but I will give it a shot eventually. They'll reach out to Ted. Shemaine, actually, his wife is one of the coolest people. I mean, you have to be for Ted Nugent. You have to be married to Ted Nugent. Has never had a drug or a drop of alcohol in his life. Ted Nugent. No lie. He's like that naturally. Wow. I could only imagine what he'd be like trying drugs and alcohol. I don't even want to know. But his wife was absolutely fantastic. She said, Ted said, you're one of the good ones, and to keep you on the list. So I will reach out to him. Maybe I can get him back on. Where's your story? And one of the cool things too, as a doggy lover, a lover of the doggies, he said his dogs hunt about 300 to 320 days a year. And I'm like, that's just not even fair, dude. How do you do that? And he said, they squirrel hunt most of the year. He goes, I eat squirrel all the time. He goes, people come over. If I got to go somewhere to something, I will bring some sort of squirrel something, because squirrels everywhere in my house. And a lot of the dogs get to eat a lot of it. But he said they squirrel hunt every single day. So if you have a dog, let me tell you this, and this is what I'll wrap with today. If you have any kind of a sporting dog, and if you don't know what a sporting dog is, I want you to go over to the whatever kennel club website you want to do and just look up the list of sporting dogs. And when you see the list of sporting dogs and your dog's on there, that dog needs a job. That dog, you're like, oh, I got to send him to obedience training. He's just eating the couch and he's just peeing all over the place. He doesn't have a job. If you want to have a sporting dog, if you want to own a sporting dog, I don't know, I can't say own. Yeah, if you want to own a sporting dog, you better give the dog a job. I don't care if it's going and fetching your slippers once a day. When you wake up, it brings you slippers. That dog will be happy and cool in the gang forever. And it could be going and getting the mail. That's the dog's job, going with you to get the mail. If the dog has a job, and it could be retrieving tennis balls in the back every single day, that dog will be fine. That dog's not going to tear y'all up. And another little point on the sporting dogs, by the way. He humps everything. It's just, he's always humping everything. Hey, that's what teenage dogs do. Sound familiar? So they go and they chop them. They get them fixed. They neuter them. Why? You shouldn't. Let me tell you why. The reason why you see a lot of dogs, labs are sporting dogs, Goldens, sporting dogs. There's great duck hunters, great. So basically, don't get a lab if you don't have a pool. If the dog's job every day is to retrieve a duck in the pool every single day, you're gonna have a cool dog. But anyway, until that dog hits puberty and runs through puberty, if you chop them before, and if you neuter them before, that stops the body from sending those puberty hormones to the hips. Like, okay, we're grown now, we're adults, we're getting bigger. The size, your hips need to hold your size. So we're sending all these hormones in development, whatever, to your hips. We're going to finish your hips. That happens during puberty. If you don't allow that, that's when you see all these dogs with hip problems. You see, in most of the dogs you see with hip problems are sporting dogs that were fixed too soon. There you go. Little piece of advice from your pal Mike. And yeah, let me get on that too. Lynn, what were you saying here? It might have been politics. Let's talk about people post. Oh, you saw someone post on X? Closest I've seen to wild horses paddling aboard. Oh, don't, Lynn. I will send you over to the podcast with John Colazar. John Colazar is actively involved in legislation and litigation when it comes to the wild horses. They're not wild, by the way. They're pets. There's feeders for them. They're not just out there. They're just hanging out in the water because it's just cool to drink and it's cool to hang out on a summer's day. That's it. So you got to figure out. And the bozos that are going into, oh, I want to go see the wild horses. Good luck. Good luck. If you don't have apples in your hand, I'd run. Paddle. Get the heck up out of there. That ain't nice. Yeah. Hey, y'all. I'm going to go figure out why I'm in trouble with the critter groups. So let me go do that, and we'll do this tomorrow at 11 o'clock right here on The Go Show. Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing it out. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for liking. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for doing all of that. I love you for it. I appreciate it. We're getting a lot of good momentum here, and it's all because of you guys, and we really, really appreciate all of it. So thank you for being here today. Looking forward to see you tomorrow at 11 o'clock right here on The Go Show, celebrating all things outdoors in this beautiful outdoor place.